Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening to me. Hi, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 192 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we are talking about the SOAP framework, which I didn't grab my handouts today yet, or my visual aids. SOAP framework with respect to our mental health and well-being. We're focusing on thinking, beliefs, all kinds of topics with respect to mental health this month. But I like to go through this SOAP framework at least once every month on each area of the life framework that we're discussing in order to reinforce what a powerful tool this is for dealing with challenges, for dealing with changes, for dealing with unexpected events, obstacles, roadblocks, whatever you like to call them, problems. I like to not say problems. I like to be solution focused. But we're on step 2 today. Yesterday we identified a mental mental well-being challenge area for us, and we described our current story, where we are right now, and we described our desired story, where we want to be with respect to that. And I selected negativity, negative self-talk, anything that puts myself down or diminishes me. I want to eliminate those things. So today I'm going to brainstorm options. I'm going to share the 5 C's from systems thinking that I borrowed from that industry and technology to apply to us, to help us think outside the box in terms of coming up with possible options to begin to fill that gap between where we are mentally and where we want to be mentally, or with respect to mental health is the topic that we're doing. So we just are going to brainstorm options, and we are going to remember a couple of things, and that's why I like the 5 C's systems thinking. It gets us to think in a more holistic way about what is possible, what else is possible. So the first C stands for curiosity. Curiosity meaning, what am I curious? What do I wonder about? One of the fastest, easiest ways for me to trigger my problem-solving mind or come up with solutions for something is by getting curious about it and asking what else is possible? What else could be possible? The second C stands for clarity. Have I clearly defined the area or the problem that I'm working on? A lot of times when we're dealing with a challenge, we're actually just dealing with the symptoms of that challenge, the things we can see. But if we dig a little deeper, it's why we did our current and desired story yesterday, that causes us to dig deeper and get clear on exactly what it is we're trying to fix. I should probably just say negative self-talk. But by the time it gets to negative self-talk, it's gone through a whole lot of things in my personal processes. So I want to actually start backing that up so that negative self-talk isn't even an option. I want to make sure I can do that. So how do I get from negative self-talk on a daily basis to it's not even an option for me? I'm my own best cheerleader. The third C of the 5 C's is compassion. And that is, be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. I don't know about you, but the stuff I say in my head sometimes to myself, I wouldn't say to my worst enemy if I had a bunch of enemies, right? But we will say it to ourselves and beat ourselves up for things that are actually ridiculous. I spilled I did a huge spill the day before yesterday. My daughter's entire coffee, large coffee, I was carrying a board and it knocked it and sent it flying all over me and all over the kitchen. And I just started laughing because I'm like, okay, that is the most ridiculous mess I've made in a very long time. And I'm pretty good at making messes. So we have to be kinder to ourselves and treat ourselves like we expect other people to be treated, set those boundaries, and be kind to other people just like we're kind to ourselves. The 4th C stands for choice. And of course, we are going to brainstorm at least 10. Why do I say 10? Because it gets us over that hump of duality thinking where, okay, I have this option or this, because it's not true. We always have infinite possibilities and infinite ways of dealing with a situation to fill that gap. We just have to be open and willing to look and see and actually look for different alternative possible options to fill that. Like, there's all kinds of ways. I could probably go get electric shock therapy to stop my negative self-talk or something. Am I going to do that? No, it's not even going on my list, especially because of my box. But I'm just saying there's so many possibilities that we don't even think of because they're outside our experience. And the 5th C is courage. Why? Because we have to be brave enough to bust out of our comfort zone to do something about this challenge, right? And I'm talking our mental health and well-being challenge that we've set for ourselves during, or that we want to address during this focus on the SOAP framework. we need to be courageous in our lives all the time to do the right thing and do what's right for us and to make the world a better place. But everybody doesn't think that way. So I'm not going to push it on everybody, although if you're listening to me, you probably think that way a little bit at least. So we have to have courage to stretch ourselves, to grow, to be more than we have been before, or we would have already dealt with this, right? If I had already dealt with negative self-talk and negativity, it wouldn't even come up for me. But it definitely came up to the top of the list for me when I was thinking about what is my biggest challenge. And I think a lot of it is because we're influenced by things outside of us. And there's a whole lot of craziness going on in the world right now. I guess here's the thing, though. There always is. There always has been. And we can choose to look inward and not let it affect us, or we can let it knock us off our goals, which is really a waste of time and energy. And it doesn't keep us on our purpose, which is to be the best possible version of ourselves. That's why we're here on planet Earth. It's to set a good example for other people and do the best that we can, given what we've got, and creating what it is that we want. All right, any questions about this? What are we doing today? We're going to brainstorm at least 10 ways to fill that gap between where we are right now with respect to mental well-being and where we want to be with the specific topic that we got clear on using those 5 C's. If using the 5 C's helps you, use them. If it doesn't, just as you go about your day, jot down things that come up. And it doesn't have to be to fill the whole gap. It's like, what's one idea that could positively impact your mental health and well-being area that you're working on? Me, as I go about my day, I'm going to look for things that can help me stop negative self-talk and negativity before it even starts, right? It's all in what I focus on, I think. All right, if I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, make it a magnificent day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.